And the challenges, what were some of the challenges?
Well, there's the challenge. Um, when you start, capitalism is an interesting phenomena that I don't think is inherently bad, but if it's not used thoughtfully, it can warp things. And what I mean by that is, you the way we think about business in the you know democratic Western countries, most of the world is heading in this direction. Is that companies are the main metric is profits or return to shareholders, and it creates some really significant tension when you're dealing with human beings and their well-being. And when you have some organizations that are maybe looking to turn a quick buck, then that puts people at risk, and you may move more quickly than you should if your number one metric is just to try and make money. And I think that unfortunately, the reality is there's folks out there that don't understand how um, deep this work is, how much care needs to be done with this work, and are looking to kind of move really quickly. And I think that there's some risks there, right? When you start trying to just have high throughput, and and then there's some risks too around um, right now these compounds and doing them in a proper way, it's not cheap. It's actually quite expensive right now, and so there's risks to this being these compounds just being available for those that have means. And we know that there's tons of people and communities out there that really need this work, but they can't afford it on their own. So we run the risk of this becoming just an elitist path to well-being. So we got to be thoughtful about that as we go, how we get it to people that really deserve it and might not be able to afford it. There's risks around, some of these compounds. You take 5-MeO, which, or you take ayahuasca, that have been used for thousands of years, some of them in different cultures around the world, and they're very sacred plants. And like they're held with a real reverence in these communities. They're a sacrament, and there's a risk that with all this exuberance in the Western world, we're already starting to put pressure on those, the supply of those compounds. We're putting pressure on those communities, and those are the communities that we need to really be honoring and making sure, like, they're the ones that didn't get off track, right? Like the Western world got wildly off track, and now we're trying to do some bit of a recorrection, but we can't do it at the expense of people that have always lived in a peaceful kind of connected way. So there's a lot of there's tension there, and it just requires a lot of heart and a lot of communication and a lot of listening and a lot of understanding, so that we don't do it in the wrong way.